Hey YouTube, welcome back to the Gearhead Fellowship channel, where today we're going to be wrapping up the 200-4R rebuild on the Pontiac Le Mans, doing the final checks and dropping it on the ground and hopefully doing a test drive. I want to apologize to all the viewers out there that have missed a video. It's been a while since I posted. I've had a lot of things going on, not only things with the Pontiac, but and some chasing things around to finish things up I'll talk about. But I also won a car. As you can see behind me, that's the Motor Crush GTR that was given away. I'm the guy who won it. So that took a little bit of time going through all that, and there'll be more videos coming down on the GTR and things we're doing for upgrades on that. Alright, welcome under the car. A couple of things that we've done since the last video posting is swap the transmission pan for a big, huge aluminum pan that holds a little bit more fluid for the transmission. Also uses a 700-4R bottom feed filter, which should not starve in high pump draw settings. So the pan's in place. It works a lot better with the B&M shift cables. I did have to modify the bracket. I'll show you right here. You can see the bracket for the B&M shift cable. I had to flatten it out right here. You can see how I had to cut it so it would make the pan. It just sticks out a little bit too much on the one side, which clears on this side, but it doesn't clear over here. So I had to flatten that out so it wouldn't hit the pan and everything would tighten up right. But other than that, the cable or the bracket fits really well. Everything else is tidied up. Our converter's wired up. You can see we've got our pressure gauge connected into the transmission right here. That's your line pressure port reading transmission pressure. We got to disconnect that and put the plug back in. It's really good to do pressure system testing just to make sure everything's working right. And I learned a few things in the process. We were seeing low pressure in first and second gear, about 215 psi. It should be about 275 to 300. But that's in a stock setup, stock converter, factory systems, and so on and so forth. And I got to speaking with one of the professional builders that builds 200s, you know, for a living, and kind of put them on the map. And he's like, that'll handle 500 to 600 horsepower easy. And one of the things that I see is, as you rev the engine at 2,500, 3,000 RPM, I'm making 250 to 300 psi in first and second anyway. So not really that much of a concern. I thought it was, but it's not as much of a concern as I thought. So we're going to disconnect this and get our plug put back in. All right, let's see how this car drives with the rebuilt 200-4R transmission. Softly and it shifts before the torque converter stall. It's a very, very smooth shift. It's very hard to notice. Seems to be upshifting and downshifting fine. Like I said, the shifts are very smooth and very hard to notice. We'll do a manual shift to see how different it feels. There's the converter lock. with me on this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Sorry it took so long to produce it. But the trans is in the car and it seems to be running okay. I got about 50 miles on the car now. And the transmission turned out well. It didn't turn out as good as I'd hoped. Remember, the whole premise was to go full manual, and that wasn't feasible. I have been in the talks with CK, and they can build a full manual valve body for me, custom built. So we may go that route eventually. May do some other things with the pump and the pressure, but for right now, she's all together. She's running and driving around, and appreciate you joining me. If you like the video and like some of the content, there's going to be more stuff coming down, like I said, on the Pontiac as we do other things as well as the GTR. So go ahead and like and subscribe and stick around. Thanks a lot. Have a good one.